Hey guys, we are here at the Australia Zoo Wildlife Hospital, joined by probably the cutest patient I think we've ever had. But I do say that about every patient we get to the Wildlife Hospital. So this is little Henry. Do you want to say hi to everybody? Say hi to everyone, Henry. So Henry here is an adorable possum, and poor Henry fell out of a tree. And it really hurt little Henry because he ended up with some head trauma. So poor Henry here is in at the Wildlife Hospital receiving treatment. Every day he gets a little bit better. But Henry here still has a long way to go, so we'll keep him in our care until we're absolutely sure that he's fully recovered and can be released back to the wild.
I feel like Henry's mother, and when he's released, he's getting a life helmet.
Yes.
So this never happens again.
Henry, love, should we get you a little teeny tiny helmet? What do you think? It would be very helpful.
Are we waiting till he's bright-eyed and bushy-tailed?
Oh, that was a good
Because he's a brush-tailed possum.
He does have a really cute little brush
I'm
tail.
already starting on the dad jokes. So Henry here is actually a possum. Now they're very different from the possums that I grew up with in North America. These guys are primarily arboreal, which means they spend most of their lives up in the trees. And like North American possums, these little guys are marsupials. Now marsupials are animals that give birth to underdeveloped young. So when Henry was first born, he was about the size of a jelly bean. Once he was born, he crawled into his mom's pouch, and now at about his age, he would be exploring out of the pouch, riding on mom's back. So unfortunately, when he fell out of the tree, his mom was nowhere to be found, and he wouldn't be able to survive on his own because he's still learning all of those life skills. But thankfully, he was brought into Australia Zoo Wildlife Hospital, and he'll have a second chance at life.
I bet giving birth to a jelly bean sounds pretty good to you right now.
Yeah, you know, it really does. I'm slightly jealous of the possums and their birthing abilities.
Yeah. But then you'd have to have a pouch.
Well, that's true, but still, giving birth to something this big is a lot better than something the size of a lamb.
Yeah. Good
I'm
point.
gonna try not to think about it right now.
You know,
Tell us a story.
I will tell you a story. It starts with once upon a time. I remember when Steve and I were in Tasmania, and Steve, in his usual Steve fashion, built a beautiful fire in the fireplace. So Steve opened the windows and opened the doors, and in came a possum. Now Henry's a baby, but fully grown, they're about the size of a cat. So the possum came into the room and then decided it couldn't figure out how to get out of the room. So it started racing around the room and got so panicked that it peed on the pillow on the bed. And then it figured out how to get out and it left. And I said to Steve, what a shame that he peed on your pillow. And it wasn't until the next morning that Steve said, wait a minute, how did you know he peed on my pillow? Why wasn't that your pillow? Yeah, so anyway.
It was definitely his.
It was definitely his.
Well played.
Yes, so we have a long-term affinity with possums. I just love them. And I know Steve really, really loved them too. They're kind of bitey when they're wild. And yes, but Steve, for some reason, just absolutely loved them and always ended up in close proximity, rescuing one or meeting one. And for a lot of years, we've had a lot of really good moments with beautiful possums.
I actually think we have some really special flashback footage to share with you guys. So we will say goodbye and let you watch this awesome footage. It's always kind of nice to look back on those fun memories captured on camera.
Definitely. Henry's on the edge of his seat.
Oh, Henry, are you excited to see flashback footage?
Yay.
It's all happening and we love you.
Steve versus possum.
Watch out, Wild.
Check it out.
Oh, he's so cute.
Hey, Ted.
Yeah. Wow.
Hey, guys, how yous going?
It's lunchtime on the old corral.
Sit down here. Come on, then.
Okay.
Come on, then.
Ooh.
Come on, then. Ooh, they jumped straight on. Now, these ringtail possums, they love fruits, blossoms, flowers, and leaves. They're all orphans. They've all lost their parents. They've all lost their mother. So these little blighters are going to get let go back out in the bush where they belong. Look at this little one eating his blossoms. Isn't he cute? Look at this little turkey up here, rolling around with his mulberry leaf. And wherever we've got secure habitat, we'll always be releasing animals back out there where they belong. It's the most rewarding thing you could ever do, is getting something back out the bush. Have a look at its eyes. See how it's got big bug eyes? They bulge right out of its head. Possums are predominantly nocturnal, and rarely do they come out to forage for food before it gets completely dark. Now there's a great representation in that tail. Look at that. They can grip even with the last part of it. It's like I use my thumb. And have a look at the feet structure of the possums. They've got like opposing toes, so they've got like 2 thumbs there, and they can actually grip. See how they grip? They just grip, just like my hands do.
He said, "Don't get in my face."
That possum just bit me on the nose.
It was a very good move, I'd say.
You little beauty!
Click on the links to see more videos just like this. And don't forget to subscribe.